Stand in the middle of London today, and you're surrounded by glass towers, red buses, and millions of people from every corner of the planet. But travel back to the year 900 AD, and you'd find yourself in a world so brutal, so precarious, that simply surviving the winter was an achievement worth celebrating. This was an England clawing its way back from the edge of oblivion, where Viking warlords ruled half the country, where a single poor harvest meant thousands starved, and where a city we now call London was being rebuilt inside ancient Roman walls by people who had no idea those walls were even Roman. If you want to witness more untold chapters of history brought back to life, hit that subscribe button now, because we're diving deep into the past every single episode. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's step into the England of 900 AD, a land most people today wouldn't recognize and many couldn't survive. The year is 900. King Alfred the Great died just a year ago, and his son Edward now wears the crown. But calling him King of England would be generous. He controls Wessex, the southern kingdom, and not much more. The rest of England, everything north and east of an invisible line running from London to Chester, belongs to the Vikings. They call it the Danelaw, and it's been theirs for decades. This isn't a temporary occupation. Viking families have settled there, farmed there, raised children there. They've built their own towns with Norse names that still exist today: Grimsby, Scunthorpe, Whitby. Every name ending in by or thorpe is a ghost of Viking England. The two populations, Anglo-Saxon and Scandinavian, live side by side in an uneasy truce that explodes into violence every few years. London itself sits right on the border of this divide. Alfred reclaimed it from the Danes just 14 years earlier in 886, and he did something remarkably clever. He abandoned the old Saxon trading settlement west of the Roman walls and moved everyone back inside those ancient fortifications. Londonburg, they called it. London Fortress, because that's exactly what it needed to be. The walls Alfred's people found were already 800 years old, built by Romans who'd been gone for 5 centuries. Massive stone barriers, 20 feet high in places, studded with gates and towers. The Saxons didn't know who built them. Some thought giants, others believed they were the work of ancient sorcerers. They simply repaired the cracks, cleared the rubble, and turned this haunted ruin into the most defensible position on the Thames. If you walked through London's gates in the year 900, you'd be struck first by how small it was. Maybe 3,000 people lived inside those walls. The entire city would fit comfortably inside a modern football stadium. Narrow lanes twisted between wooden buildings, most just one story tall with thatched roofs. No street signs, no addresses. You navigated by landmarks: the blacksmith near the East Gate, the church by the old Roman bathhouse, the fish market down by the river. The streets weren't paved. In summer, dust choked your lungs. In winter, they turned to rivers of freezing mud mixed with human and animal waste. The smell was overwhelming. Rotting fish guts, untanned leather, wood smoke, human sewage, all compressed into a space barely half a mile across. Pigs roamed freely, eating garbage. Chickens scattered as you walked. Dogs fought over scraps in the alleys. Most buildings were workshops on the ground floor, living quarters above. A carpenter's family slept directly over the wood shavings and tools. A baker's children grew up breathing flour dust. The tanner's house reeked of urine and animal fat, chemicals used to cure leather. Privacy didn't exist. Families of 6 or 8 shared a single room. Babies were born there. People died there. Everything in between happened in that same cramped space. The wealthiest residents, the merchants and minor nobles, might have 2 rooms, an incredible luxury. They'd have glass in one window, imported at staggering cost. The rest of the population made do with wooden shutters that kept out wind and rain, but also all light. So in winter, you chose between freezing or living in darkness. Let me tell you what a typical day actually looked like for an ordinary Londoner, because this is where history gets visceral. You wake before dawn. You have to. Daylight is precious and candles are expensive. Tallow candles made from animal fat give off a greasy smoke that makes your eyes water. Beeswax candles are for churches and nobles. Your bed is a wooden frame with a straw mattress, crawling with lice and fleas no matter how often you change the straw. Everyone sleeps in their clothes for warmth. You own 2 sets of clothing, maybe 3 if you're prosperous. One set you wear while the other is being washed, which happens perhaps once a month. Most people smell. Everyone smells. You stop noticing after a while. Breakfast, if you eat it at all, is bread and ale. Yes, ale for breakfast. The water in London is contaminated with waste from the Thames and from cesspits that leak into wells. Everyone knows that drinking water makes you sick, though they don't understand why. So everyone drinks weak ale instead. Children, adults, elderly. Ale is safer than water. The bread is dark, dense, made from barley or rye. Wheat bread is for special occasions. This bread contains bits of grit from the millstone, and it wears down your teeth. By age 30, even wealthy people have severely damaged teeth. By 40, many have lost most of them. There are no dentists. A barber might pull a rotten tooth if the pain becomes unbearable, but infection often follows, and people die from abscessed teeth more often than you'd imagine. If you're a craftsman, you open your shop front to the street. Your entire workshop is visible to passers-by. This isn't about transparency. It's about advertising. People need to see you working to know you're trustworthy. A shoemaker cuts and stitches leather while customers watch. A potter shapes clay on a wheel in full view. Trading happens in the open. Haggling is expected. Prices aren't fixed. Everything is negotiable, and every transaction is a performance. If you're a laborer, you head to the docks. London's entire economy runs on the Thames. Ships arrive from Francia carrying wine, from the Rhine with millstones and metalwork, from the Low Countries with wool cloth, from Scandinavia with furs and amber. These aren't large vessels. Most are small cargo ships, maybe 40 feet long, with a single square sail. They beach on the muddy shore at high tide and unload before the water drops. Strong backs are always needed. You might earn a penny for a full day's heavy labor. That penny buys you 4 loaves of bread, or a chicken, or a gallon of decent ale. Enough to feed your family for a day, maybe 2 if you stretch it. Women work just as hard. Wealthy women manage households, which means overseeing servants, food storage, cloth production. Poor women do all of that themselves, plus work for pay. They brew ale, bake bread for sale, spin wool into thread, work in the markets selling fish or vegetables. Pregnancy and childbirth happen constantly, and they're incredibly dangerous. 1 in 3 women dies in childbirth or from complications afterward. Babies die even more frequently. Infant mortality is so high that many parents don't name their children until they're a year old. Why grow attached to someone who probably won't survive? It's a brutal emotional calculus, but it's how people protect themselves from constant grief. Children who do survive start working young. By age 7, you're expected to contribute. Boys apprentice to their fathers or to craftsmen. Girls learn household skills from their mothers. There's no childhood as we understand it. No school for most. No playtime. You're preparing to be an adult from the moment you can walk steadily and follow instructions. Now here's something that might surprise you. Despite the filth, Despite the disease, despite the constant proximity to death, people in 900 AD London laugh. They gossip, they fall in love, they get drunk and sing bawdy songs. They care deeply about their reputations, about what their neighbors think. Social standing matters enormously in a world this small. Everyone knows everyone. Your reputation is everything. Get caught cheating a customer, and the entire city knows by nightfall. No one will trade with you. You're ruined. Crime is dealt with swiftly and publicly. Theft might cost you a hand. Literally. Repeat offenses, execution. Punishments are designed to be seen, to serve as warnings. A man convicted of murder is hanged at a crossroads outside the city gates. His body is left there for days, rotting, covered in crows, so everyone traveling into London sees what happens to killers. It's brutal. It's meant to be. But the legal system isn't entirely barbaric. There are courts, there are laws. If someone accuses you of a crime, you can defend yourself. You can bring oath helpers, people willing to swear you're telling the truth. Your credibility depends on your reputation, which brings us back to why social standing matters so desperately. A respected merchant's word carries weight. A known drunk's oath means nothing. The system isn't fair by modern standards, but it's not complete chaos either. Sunday is different. Church attendance is mandatory. Not going marks you as an outsider, possibly a pagan, definitely suspicious. The church dominates London's skyline. Several churches, actually, each serving a different parish. They're small, dark, built from wood and stone. Inside, the priest conducts Mass in Latin, which almost no one understands. But you're not there for comprehension. You're there because God is watching, and hell is very, very real to people in 900 AD. They believe completely in demons, in angels, in divine judgment. The church promises that your suffering in this life will be rewarded in the next. It's a powerful message when your daily existence is genuinely hard. The hope of heaven makes the present bearable. After church, Sunday is actually somewhat restful. People socialize, they drink, they play games, dice and board games mostly. Gambling is popular despite the church's disapproval. Young men practice with weapons, spears, and axes because every able-bodied man is expected to fight if the Vikings attack. And the Vikings might attack. They attacked last decade. They'll attack again next decade. This isn't paranoia, it's reality. A Viking army could appear on the Thames with almost no warning. When that happens, every man grabs whatever weapon he owns and reports to the muster point. There's no professional army. There are the king's personal warriors, elite fighters who train constantly. Everyone else is a farmer or craftsman who picks up a spear when the war horn sounds. Let me paint you a picture of what happens when a Viking fleet actually arrives, because this is a fear that haunts every Londoner's dreams. It's late summer, harvest time. You're in the fields outside the city walls, gathering grain. The Thames is tidal this far inland, and the Vikings time their raids to the tide. They sail upriver on the incoming tide, moving fast, dragon-headed longships cutting through the water. Someone spots them. Church bells start ringing. That's the alarm. You drop everything and run for the gates. Women, children, elderly, everyone who can't fight floods into the city. The gates slam shut. Men grab weapons and climb to the walls. The Vikings beach their ships and form a shield wall. Maybe 100 warriors, maybe 300. They don't attack the walls. They can't. London's defenses are too strong. Instead, they burn everything outside. The fields you were just working, the outlying farms, the animals that couldn't be driven inside fast enough. They slaughter them and take the meat. They're sending a message. We can hurt you whenever we want. Sometimes they demand tribute. Silver, gold, whatever the city can pay. It's called Danegeld, Dane money. Paying it is humiliating. Not paying means they'll camp outside your walls, starve you out, wait for disease to do their work. So London pays. The king pays. Everyone pays. And the Vikings leave, for now, their ships heavy with English silver. This happens repeatedly throughout the early 900s. It's a cancer eating at England's wealth and pride. Edward the Elder, Alfred's son, spends his reign pushing back. Slowly, methodically, he builds fortresses called burhs throughout his territory. Each burh is a fortified town, strategically placed so that nowhere in his kingdom is more than 20 miles from protection. It's a brilliant defensive network. When Vikings raid, people retreat to the nearest burh and wait them out. Edward also goes on the offensive. He conquers chunks of the Danelaw, pushing the border north. His sister, Aethelflaed, Lady of the Mercians, does the same from the west. She's a warrior queen in all but name, leading armies, building fortresses, winning battles. Together, they're slowly stitching England back together. But progress is agonizingly slow. Every mile gained costs lives. Every fortress built requires resources England can barely spare. And always, there's the possibility that a new Viking army will land and undo years of progress in a single campaign. Back in London, daily life grinds on regardless of politics and war. You can't stop working because Vikings exist. Bills don't pay themselves. Food doesn't grow itself. Autumn is crucial. Harvest determines whether you eat this winter or starve. A bad harvest triggers a cascade of disasters. Food prices spike. The poor, who live perpetually on the edge, fall off that edge. They sell their tools to buy grain. Then they can't work. They beg. They die. In truly bad years, people abandon their children at church doors, hoping monks will feed them. Sometimes they do. Often they can't. The children die too. Medieval chronicles record these famines matter-of-factly. A bad year. Many died. Moving on. Because what else can you do? You can't change the weather. You can't create food from nothing. You bury the dead and hope next year is better. Winter is when death comes calling most persistently. The cold itself kills. Hypothermia takes the elderly, the sick, the very young. But disease is the real killer. Respiratory infections spread like wildfire in cramped, poorly ventilated homes. What we'd call pneumonia or bronchitis kills quickly in a world without antibiotics. Dysentery, caused by contaminated food and water, is endemic. It's painful, humiliating, and often fatal. Children are especially vulnerable. You probably lose at least one child to disease before they reach age 5. Maybe more. It's so common that it shapes the emotional landscape of the era. Parents love their children desperately, but they guard their hearts, knowing grief is almost inevitable. Medicine in 900 AD is a mix of practical knowledge and complete nonsense. Herbal remedies actually work for some ailments. Willow bark contains the compound we now know as aspirin. Honey has antibacterial properties and is used on wounds. But medical theory is based on the 4 humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. Illness is thought to result from an imbalance of these humors. Treatments often involve bloodletting, which weakens patients further, or purging, inducing vomiting or diarrhea to expel bad humors. These interventions frequently kill people who might have recovered on their own. The most dangerous words in 900 AD might be, "I'll fetch the healer." Despite all this, London is growing. The population inches upward. Trade increases. Edward the Elder sees the city's strategic and economic importance. He encourages settlement. He grants legal privileges to merchants. He ensures the walls stay maintained. London isn't just a military fortress, it's becoming England's commercial heart. The old Roman street grid is slowly being rebuilt, not because anyone has a map, but because property lines preserve the ancient layout. If you walk through the financial district of modern London, The street pattern you're following is 2,000 years old, shaped first by Roman surveyors, then preserved by medieval Londoners who didn't even know Romans had been there. Let me take you to the market on a busy day, because this is where London's diversity really shows itself. The main market is near the center of the walled city, probably close to where the old Roman Forum once stood. Stalls line the streets. This isn't organized retail, it's controlled chaos. A fishmonger shouts about fresh catch from the Thames. Eels, mostly. The Thames is full of eels in this era, and they're a staple food. Cheap, plentiful, nutritious if you can get past the texture. Next to him, a woman sells vegetables, leeks and onions and cabbages. Meat hangs from hooks, covered in flies. A butcher hacks apart a pig carcass, while blood pools on the ground. The smell is overwhelming, but everyone ignores it. That's just what markets smell like. You hear multiple languages, Old English, obviously, the language of the Saxons, but also Norse, because Danish merchants crossed the border to trade. Maybe some Frankish from continental traders, Latin from priests. London in 900 AD is already an international city, just on a much smaller scale than today. Ideas flow with the trade goods, new technologies, new words, new customs. This cultural exchange is how societies advance, and London is positioned perfectly to absorb influences from Scandinavia, Francia, and the remaining Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Currency is a mix of coins and barter. Silver pennies are the standard, but most people rarely see them. Daily transactions happen through barter. I'll give you 2 chickens for that pot. I'll mend your shoes in exchange for a bushel of barley. Only larger transactions involve actual money. The economy runs on trust and reputation. Credit exists, but it's based entirely on knowing the other person will honor their debts. Breaking your word destroys you socially and economically. Now let's talk about something we haven't touched yet, but which shapes every aspect of life in 900 AD London. Social hierarchy. Everyone has a place. Everyone knows their place. Moving between social classes is difficult, but not impossible. At the top, the king and his family. Beneath them, the nobility, the ealdormen who govern regions. Then comes a rising class of wealthy merchants and thones, minor nobility, who hold land in exchange for military service. Below them, free farmers and craftsmen. At the bottom, the unfree slaves and serfs bound to land or masters. Slavery is common in Anglo-Saxon England. Criminals enslaved as punishment. War captives. People who sold themselves into slavery to escape debt. It's brutal and dehumanizing, though slaves have some legal protections. A master who kills his slave faces punishment. Not the same punishment as killing a free person, but something. Slaves can sometimes buy their freedom or be freed by a generous master. It happens rarely, but it happens. The church complicates this hierarchy because it offers an alternative path to status. A boy from a poor family can enter a monastery, learn to read and write, and rise through church ranks based on ability and piety rather than birth. It's one of the few routes for social mobility. The church in 900 AD is massively powerful. It owns land. It collects tithes. It shapes law and culture. Bishops are political players who negotiate with kings. Abbots command resources rivaling some nobles. And at the local level, priests are often the only literate people in a community. They read and write letters. They keep records. They preserve knowledge. Education is almost entirely religious. If you want to learn to read, you join a monastery or convince a priest to teach you. Literacy is rare and valuable. Most nobles can't read. They dictate letters to scribes. Books are hand-copied manuscripts, phenomenally expensive. A single Bible might cost as much as a farm. Libraries exist only in monasteries, and they're small. 20 books is a respectable collection. 50 books is a great treasure. Knowledge is scarce, and those who possess it wield real power. But here's the thing. Ordinary people aren't stupid. They can't read, but they're clever, resourceful, skilled at their crafts. A master carpenter understands geometry intuitively, even if he can't express it mathematically. A shipwright builds vessels that cross the North Sea without blueprints, working from experience and tradition passed down through generations. Knowledge isn't just in books. It's in hands and muscle memory and stories told around fires. Speaking of stories, entertainment in 900 AD is entirely oral and communal. There's no solitary entertainment, no books to read alone, no screens to stare at. Instead, people gather. A scop, a professional poet, might visit London and perform in a noble's hall. He recites epic poems from memory, stories of heroes and monsters and battles. Beowulf is being told in halls across England in this era, though it won't be written down for another century. The scop is part entertainer, part historian, part propagandist. He praises his patron's ancestry, links them to legendary heroes, reinforces their right to rule. In humbler settings, people tell folk tales, stories about clever farmers outwitting devils, cautionary tales about women who wandered into the woods and met something that looked human but wasn't. These stories serve a purpose. They teach moral lessons. They explain the world. They entertain during long winter nights when there's nothing else to do. Music is everywhere. Simple instruments, flutes and lyres mostly. People sing while working. Fieldwork is often done to rhythm to make the labor bearable. Songs help synchronize effort when multiple people are hauling or lifting. And yes, people sing drinking songs in alehouses, bawdy and irreverent and utterly unsuitable for church, but deeply human. Let me shift gears and talk about something crucial that we haven't fully addressed. Religion isn't just Sunday obligation. It saturates every aspect of life in 900 AD. You cross yourself before eating, you pray before sleep. You invoke saints for protection. You fear demons constantly because they're real. Everyone knows someone who saw something in the dark, heard something scratching at the door, felt something malevolent watching from the woods. The line between Christianity and older pagan beliefs is blurrier than the church would like. People have been Christian for maybe 200 years in England. That's not long. Old beliefs linger, charms against evil, offerings left at springs and wells, trees considered sacred. The church condemns these practices as superstition, but they persist because they offer comfort in a terrifying world. Miracles are expected. Saints intervene. Relics heal the sick. When something good happens, God is thanked. When something bad happens, it's punishment for sin or a test of faith. This worldview makes suffering meaningful. It's not random. It's not pointless. It's part of God's plan, which you can't understand but must trust. For people in constant pain, facing constant loss, that's psychologically essential. Now imagine it's late evening. The sun has set. London goes dark. Really dark. No streetlights, no electric glow. If there's a moon, you can navigate the streets carefully. If there isn't, you stay inside unless you absolutely must venture out. Criminals operate at night. So do things that might not be criminals. Things people don't talk about openly, but everyone fears. You lock your door, which is just a wooden plank dropped into brackets. You bank the fire so embers stay alive until morning. You say your prayers. You sleep lightly because fire is always a risk. A knocked-over candle, a spark from the hearth, and your entire wooden house could be ablaze in minutes. This happens constantly. Individual fires are extinguished by bucket brigades if caught early. If not, buildings burn, and hopefully the fire doesn't spread. There's no fire department. There's just neighbors helping neighbors because next time it could be your house. And then morning comes again. You wake before dawn. You start the cycle over. Work, eat, work, pray, sleep. Day after day, week after week. This is life. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting most of the time. It's hard, repetitive, exhausting. But it's also filled with small joys. A good meal, a successful sale, a child's laugh, a moment of rest. These things matter enormously when life is difficult. London in 900 AD is a city between two worlds. The Roman past is literally beneath their feet, forgotten but present in walls and ruins. The English future is being built in real time, stone by stone, law by law, battle by battle. The people living through this moment don't know they're in a transition period. They're just trying to survive, to feed their families, to maybe leave things slightly better for the next generation. And here's the remarkable thing. They succeed. London doesn't just survive the Viking Age. It grows, it prospers, it becomes a capital. The tiny fortress city of 900 AD becomes the medieval London of 1200, then the Tudor London of 1500, then the industrial powerhouse of 1800, then the global metropolis of today. Every generation builds on what the last one left behind. The people of 900 AD couldn't imagine glass skyscrapers or underground trains or instant global communication. But they laid foundations, literal and figurative, that made all of it possible. So when you walk through London today, remember, beneath the asphalt are medieval streets. Beneath those are Roman roads. And beneath those are the footprints of people who lived unimaginably hard lives, but who laughed and loved and hoped anyway. They're gone now. Their buildings are dust. Their names are forgotten. But their legacy is the city itself. Still standing, still growing, still pulling in people from everywhere, just like it did 1100 years ago when England was fractured and fragile and fighting for survival, and London was the fortress that helped hold it all together. That's the survival story of 900 AD England and the birth of London. Not a story of kings and battles, though those matter, but a story of ordinary people doing extraordinary things just by refusing to give up, by building and trading and raising children in a world that gave them every reason to quit. They didn't. And because they didn't, we're here. Thanks for watching this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating and overlooked periods. If this journey back to Anglo-Saxon London captivated you, hit that like button and subscribe because we're just getting started. Drop a comment and tell me what historical period or city you'd like to explore next. Until then, remember the past isn't just dates and names, it's people just like us, facing impossible odds and somehow making it through. We'll see you in the past.